Hi, welcome to Bible Boost. I want to talk about a subject that a lot of people are intimidated about, and it's prayer and fasting. I want to encourage you and challenge you to look to a life where you begin to fast when you're praying. Let's go straight to Scripture. Matthew chapter 17, verses 15 through 20. It says, Lord, have mercy on my son. This is a man that came to Jesus because his son had some physical problems. He said he has seizures and is suffering greatly. He often falls into the fire or into the water. I brought him to your disciples, but they could not heal him. And Jesus looks and he says, you unbelieving and perverse generation, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy here to me. Jesus then rebuked the demon, and it came out of the boy, and he was healed at that moment. Then the disciples came to Jesus in private, and they asked, why couldn't we drive it out? Jesus replied, because you have so little faith. Truly, I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. And then on to verse 21, he actually says, this comes out not but by prayer and fasting. Now, I've heard that interpreted. I heard people read it and they say by much prayer and fasting. Just prayer and fasting. It doesn't mean that you have to go 30, 40, 60, 100 days of fasting and no, just fast while you're praying, and this builds your faith and it causes you to be able to hear more from God. A lot of Christians think that fasting is an advanced level, and it's not. It's just a level, but it's not that advanced. We're not supposed to, but a lot of Christians, when they fast, they brag about it. They make a big show. I remember one guy told me, he says, yeah, I've been fasting for 30 days, 40, 50 days. I said, wow, that must be difficult. He said, no, and he had this big bag of peppermint candy. And he says, and when I get hungry, I just eat these. And it was a big bag. Now, I don't know if he turned into diabetic or not by doing that, but I knew he was fasting. You're not really supposed to know when someone is fasting, but we make it what it's not supposed to be. Fasting is defined as the willful refrainment from eating for a period of time. A period of time. It doesn't have to be 90 days, 60 days, 30 days. I remember I went on a 3-day fast one time, and yeah, it was really difficult. And my family knew I was fasting. I told my immediate family, what I was doing. And but I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to go through all of that. And, so God doesn't say it comes out by 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or one day. Spiritual fasting is when the spirit denies the flesh. When you separate yourself for food for a period of time, it could be 1 meal, 2 meals, it could be a day, it could be 2 days. But whatever you do, when you deny the flesh, that is what fasting is. The flesh always makes its demands. It always wants what it wants. Look at a baby. When a baby's hungry, you know when the baby's hungry. That's the flesh crying out, saying, you need to feed me now. The flesh wants luxury, The flesh will say, give me that Kit Kat. Let's supersize those fries. Put some extra cheese or sour cream on that baked potato. The flesh always demands luxury. It wants to please itself, and fasting denies it of what it wants. As a matter of fact, when you fast, you tell the flesh, quiet, shh, stop dictating to me. You ignore the flesh when you fast, and you listen to God. See, the flesh is always speaking to you, but it's time when we fast that we begin to let God speak to us, not our flesh. Not our base desires, but we let God speak to us. Plus, it's good for you. Science has proven that fasting is good for your health. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It helps you spiritually and it helps you physically. So try it. Try it. You don't have to be an advanced, hyper-spiritual Christian to fast. It is something that you train your spirit to dictate to the body. So, your prayers will be more effective when you fast. And watch me, you'll hear from God when you fast. So deny that flesh, tell that flesh, shh, shh, hush. And then listen to God. Matthew chapter 4 and verse 4 says, Jesus said, "It is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." So when you fast, you're feeding on God's counsel, His voice, and His direction. So I want to encourage you this week. Would you try it? Say, quiet flesh, God's speaking right now. God bless you. We'll see you next time on Bible Boost.